Hey, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Whitesea Pod. It is Monday, July 21st. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I just got some new glasses today. I can see absolutely everything. Today, we're going to be talking about something that we haven't spoken about before and that you might not even know is happening right now. It's the Tour de France. And what is that? Well, it's a cycling competition. And while cycling might seem lame to some of us, or we only know it to the extent of seeing people out on the street that we have to be careful about when we're driving, the sport itself is actually fascinating, and this event in particular. So, what is the Tour de France? And excuse my French pronunciation, it's going to be happening a few times today. This is a 3-week race that spans across France and they ride a total of between 3,300 and 3,500 kilometers across these 3 weeks. Now, there's 21 different stages, and each stage is between like 100 and 120 miles. But this is the best riders in the world. This is the premier competition each year, and these riders are absolute machines. And they're riding almost every day. There's three rest days in the whole competition. Um, and today was a rest day, and tomorrow the competition is back on with stage number 16. So there are six more stages left in the tour. And to catch you up on the standings, right now, so we're in the heart of it right now. Tadej Pogačar, he's from Slovenia. He is in first right now. He rides for the UAE team. And the guy right behind him, Jonas Vingegaard, is from Denmark, and he's only 4 minutes and 17 seconds behind him. And in third place is a German guy named Florian Lipovitz, who came out of nowhere. He wasn't supposed to be this good, and he's in third behind the best riders in the world. But get this, they've been racing for 55 hours so far, and number one and two are only 4 minutes behind. So we're gonna get into some of this, but it's crazy the difference that even seconds make each day, and it's wild. And I hope you tune into to see it for yourself. But yeah, tomorrow is stage 16, and they're riding a stage where it's pretty flat or like some rolling hills most of the day, and then at the very end when the competition matters a ton. They're climbing up this mountain, Mount Ventoux, in the Alps. So throughout this competition, these guys are riding in the Alps, they're riding in the Pyrenees, they're riding across the French farmland. They're in so many different environments and terrains, and it's really fascinating and beautiful. But I've written out some reasons to for you to tune in, reasons why I encourage you to watch. And these are in no particular order, but I'm just going to go through these because I was just free writing about why it's actually so much fun to watch and why I've been really hooked each day. And these are the ones that came out. So number one, the speed that these riders ride. For some reference, when they are on a flat surface, they're riding about 30 to 35 miles per hour. When they're going downhill, they can reach 60 miles an hour, sometimes more. Like that's like highway speed. And when they're going uphill, even in some crazy like 15% grade, they're riding like 15 and 16 miles per hour. That's like my normal riding on a flat speed. It's crazy. These guys make it look so easy. And what's insane is that they're riding in what's called the peloton. You might know that word. Um, and even when they're not riding the peloton, when they're only riding in small groups, they're inches apart from one another. And that's wheel to wheel, like someone right behind the other, but also to the side. They are almost touching, and they're able to maintain this proximity to each other at these crazy high speeds. And as you might imagine, it can make for some really dangerous riding, which we'll get into a little bit later. Um, but yeah, it's crazy to think that they're going at these insane speeds, but they really the whole time they only have two points of contact on the road that are like an inch wide and a few inches long. And I'm talking about their tires, their wheels. And if they have one bump or one misread of a turn or one loss of balance, they get in real trouble, and it really affects the other riders. It affects their safety, of course, and the standings overall. It's just crazy to see how fast they go, and they're pushing the limits on every uphill, every downhill. It's hard to even watch sometimes when they're going downhill. It's yeah, things can get bad pretty quickly. But these guys are in control and able to just maintain. I mean, they're the best riders in the world. It's crazy. Number two, the environment that they're riding in. So this is the Tour de France. They are the Tour de France. They're riding in absolutely gorgeous towns, rivers, old roads, majestic mountains. Each day is something different, and we, as the spectators on TV, get really great vantage points from. They have a helicopter that always like shows the terrain from up in the air. We have the coverage from the motorcycles that are down on the road with the bikers, and they're filming all this. And France is just absolutely beautiful. Like you have these old towns and really tight roads and like small streets, and then they're just like sprawling huge mountains that it's sometimes I just pause and look at the view because it's just gorgeous. And with that, of course, the terrain is different each day. Sometimes they're even riding on like they're going from like some of the main roads in the country to they're on gravel for parts of these rides, which requires a completely different style of racing so that you don't slip. Um, and they're going from like windy sections of the country where it can get like really treacherous, but you don't even see it even on the broadcast, to like sprawling farmland. And it's funny because the local people who live there, they have like made these large scale designs that are in the crops that only the helicopter can pick up. Those are fun to see. And of course, the mountains are just epic. But this is July in France, and it gets to 36 degrees, sometimes more Celsius, which in Fahrenheit is 97 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. These guys are riding in absolutely sweltering heat. So not only are they pushing the limits of like their body, they're doing it in insane conditions. And that brings in some of the technology that we'll get into in a second. But it's just crazy that the environment these guys put themselves in, the contrast between the beauty of France and the heat and the toll that it takes on the people. Um, yeah, another reason to tune in is these riders are really special, and they're from all over the world. Like this is a global sport. The top guys right now, they're from Slovenia, Belgium, Poland, Germany, Ireland, Australia, France. Like I think the top US guy right now, I don't even think he's in the top 20. He might be. This is Matteo Jorgensen. I have to check, but yeah, these riders are from all over the world. They specialize in different things. So they are organized into teams, and these teams have different specializations. So a couple riders are sprinters. They're insanely good on flat ground and riding as fast as they can for a short distance of time. Like these guys, you can't catch them. They are if they're in a sprint, they are going to win. They just put out insane amount of power for a short period of time. Then you have like mountain climbers who if they're going if the stage is a mountain stage and they need to climb for a few hours, these guys are built for that. They can do it, and they can do it at speed. And then you have hybrid riders who are good at both, maybe not the best at either, but they are very good at both of those disciplines. And those guys are typically the ones that are like leading the team, and are trying to do well over in the race overall. And so those hybrids, like each of these teams have like their best guy, and the sprinters and the climbers are kind of shepherding their best guy to get in position to win. And what I mean by that is during a stage when the riders are all riding together, if it's going up the mountain, for example, the climbers will set the pace and their hybrid guy, the guy that they want to win, will be behind them so that they can draft and make have it be a little bit easier on the hybrid rider. And then, as they're on flat ground or want to be behind the sprinters, like the sprinters will get in position right in front of the hybrid guy and put the pressure on the rest of the teams and riders around them and really set the pace. And at the last minute, they'll get out of the way to let the hybrid guy shoot up to the front. But it's really an interesting team and individual dynamic in that regard. And it's something that there's a ton of strategy that goes on that we as a spectator don't even really see. But it's fascinating, and to see it happen like at the end of the race is really cool, like when they execute these things. And yeah, one other thing of note is there are some different jersey colors that you should know about. So the person who's leading the tour, who has the best time, he's in the yellow jersey. This is the Maillot Jaune. And he gets to wear this bright yellow, kitted up head to toe, his helmet, his suit, all the way down to his shoes. He's in bright yellow. Everyone knows who the leader is. And then there's the sprinter leader, who's the same thing but in green. And so this person accumulates points by winning the sprint competitions throughout the tour. Then there's the climber who has a polka dot jersey, who is achieving the same thing. He's winning points, but for these different climbs across the tour that this rider will get. And yeah, he's wearing a polka dot jersey. It's super cool. And then I think there is also a the best rookie is wearing all white. But so these are like um, the four jerseys that are up for grabs during this competition. Okay, more reasons to tune in. So something you should know, there are two stage types. The most common one is just a normal, it's called a stage, where they ride between like 90 and 120 miles. Um, and those can be across, yeah, rolling hills, flat lands, through the mountains, whatever. But there are two time trials during this 3-week race. And a time trial is really interesting. So on the stage races, all the riders start at the same time. But in a time trial, everyone goes one by one. So they're racing individually to see who gets the best time. They do it in reverse order of the standings, however. So the guy with the maillot jaune, the yellow jersey, he goes last. And so, of course, when he goes, he knows what time he needs to achieve to beat the guy who has set the best time of the day so far. And every second counts. They're only riding for about 30 minutes for these two time trials, but they are going as fast as they possibly can. To the point, like this is an example of how fast that they are trying to go. Some of these riders will not even pick up their head from riding because their helmet is designed to be perfectly aerodynamic so that when they pick up their head, they're actually costing themselves some wind resistance and causing them to go slower. They won't pick up their head until their like team captain tells them, "Hey, a turn is coming. You need to look up and figure out how you're gonna turn." That's just a crazy level of commitment that these guys have, and it just really shows like how much each second counts. Um, but time trials are also cool because yeah, they are kitted up extremely differently from a normal race. Like the helmets are the biggest, most obvious change here, where they look instead of just a normal bike helmet, they have those super long aerodynamic helmets. Some of them even have it almost looks like a stormtrooper helmet in the front, but they have it so that the sunglasses, what they're looking through, are really high up on the helmet, so that they don't have to pick up their head to look through it. And then they also have, because they're likely hunched over for most of the ride, they have cuts in the glasses part of the helmet to make room for their wrists so that they can just stay in this position and just pedal. It's really crazy to see the technology that goes into it. And it's yeah, it's pretty cool to see. Okay, the spectators during this race are also something you need to just see for yourself because it's wild to see, number one, just the pride that people in France and people from all over Europe and the world probably come that they have for this race and for the people from their country that are racing in it. I just can only imagine that they ride drive to wherever the stage is that day, and they have to park their cars on the side of the road. Like these roads are sometimes lined with like RVs and with cars, and people are out there fully face painted. They have a crazy outfit on. Some people are like in chicken costumes. Some are like waving the flags of their nation. They are going crazy, and it is actually anxiety inducing sometimes. They get so close to the riders, and the riders, of course, are trying to maintain the most inside line possible, especially when they're turning. And it seems like everyone who's watching wants to get that perfect like photo, and they're standing in their way and they only move out of the way at the last possible second. And as someone watching on TV, I'm getting angry on behalf of the riders, being like, dude, get out of the way. Like you are gonna cause an accident. You're gonna fuck up this guy's whole race. Excuse me, I'm getting heated. But this has happened, like it's already happened on tour this time, where a few riders have been hit in the face by someone holding a giant flag, and the wind just takes the flag and like puts it into the rider, and like they are pissed at the spectators. Um, and it's also happened once in history to Lance Armstrong, who was climbing a really tough climb on the tour, and he's up in his like he's off of his seat, he's pedaling, and someone on the side of the road was carrying a bag or something with a loop, and his handlebar caught the loop, and it just took him down immediately. Um, I was validating that story earlier, and I saw that this was when Lance Armstrong was racing against Jan Ullrich, who's a German rider. They were neck and neck, they were rivals, and Ullrich was behind him on the race during that stage, and he got word that Lance Armstrong fell, and out of sportsmanship, he stopped and he waited for Lance Armstrong to recover and to get back into speed, and that apparently has been like a standard set for the sportsmanship that this sport calls for. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just sidebar. But yeah, the craziest thing that I saw this tour so far was on one of the early mountain stages. When the riders are going up the mountain, they are going at 15, 16 miles an hour. They're not going 30, 40 miles an hour. So the spectators feel like they can be in front of them without risking like getting run over or getting hit by these people. So for the first rider, the road will be covered by spectators. It's crazy. It'll be literally everyone will be in the middle of the road as the rider's coming towards them. And then at the last minute, they get out of the way. It's like parting the Red Sea. It's a sea of people. And as the riders are going up, the people are just splitting. And like they can barely even see 10 meters down the road. It's just wild. And it's kind of cool that it's allowed. It would be, I can't imagine how exhilarating it would be, or if it would be helpful, to just have so many people in your face right around you as you're dying going up this mountain. But you should, if any, for any reason, you should check it out just to see what the spectators are like, because they're crazy. All right, a couple more reasons. How these stages end. So this is a race, and for each of these stages, the end is usually the most exhilarating part. So I'll just note like what's coolest to me is so you have the peloton, which is the main group of riders, and then you have a few guys who early on in the stage decide to ride faster and go out ahead. And sometimes one person attacking or a few people attacking together will cause other people in the peloton to react. And so you have the leaders and then you have the chase group that's coming after them. And the dynamic in cycling and in the Tour de France is when you are in the peloton or you're riding with a group, you have the benefit of drafting and taking advantage of drafting and having somebody set the pace for you. And so let's say there's three people riding together. The first guy will set the pace. When he gets tired, he'll back up, he'll like let the other two guys go ahead. He'll join the back of the line. And then the next guy is setting the pace after he's just been resting or having it a bit easier for as the first guy was going. And so it's really cool when one person will attack by himself and he's saying, "Okay, like I'm going." They're checking back like, is anyone chasing me? Sometimes people try to keep up, sometimes they can't, and they think, okay, like the best chance we have of catching this guy is to stay in the group. And like on the last stage, this was stage 15, the most recent stage. This guy, Tim Wells, Tim Wellman. Sorry, I'm forgetting your name. He went by himself, and he had 25 miles to go in the stage, and there was two chase groups behind him, and then there's a peloton, and you're the whole time you're thinking, oh man, like is this guy gonna like? Because when you're by yourself, you have to set the pace by yourself. You have the wind in your face. You have no help from anybody, and it's like, can this guy make it to the end without being caught by any of the guys behind him? And it's really impressive sometimes the guys behind like them working together they can catch people most of the time, which makes it even more impressive when someone is able to sustain their lead and they're pushing so hard. It's wild. But when there isn't just a single leader and there are multiple people who have been riding together and they're about to cross the finish line, it comes down to a sprint. And not only have these guys worked so hard to be the leaders of the stage all day, and are trying to fend off the peloton behind them, they are sprinting their butt off at the end, and it comes down to a photo finish a lot of the time. Like they're sprinting, 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 and then they push the bike out in front of them, and it's decided by centimeters. Sometimes I'm getting European, I'm going centimeters, not inches. But super cool to see. And of course, like in the overall standings, when it's a photo finish like that, the two guys who are finishing, or the three, they're going to have pretty much the same time for that stage, but only one person can win. And it's really cool to see at the end. And what I like about the broadcast is that um, they switch from like, oh, here's the leader, we're going to focus on him for a bit. And they show at the very top, like how far behind the chase groups and the peloton is from the leader. And they bounce between the broadcasts of each of these different groups, and it's just really cool and very thrilling. Um, yeah, these guys are the best riders in the world. The bikes are top of the line. Their helmets are incredibly aerodynamic. They have radio communications with their teams and with their team car. Like they're able to come get them, give them food, and yeah, that's like we didn't even talk about this, but the nourishment and the hydration and like they need to make sure they're staying hydrated. They need to fight the heat and stay cool. They need to take in calories because they are burning energy like crazy. Like their body is a furnace basically, and they're riding this 100-degree heat. It's wild. Like to go up a climb that's going to take them an hour, 40 minutes. Like before the climb, they're discarding stuff off of their bike. Like, oh, this water bottle, like, let me take my last swig of water. I'm getting rid of this weight, and I'm just gonna like bust it out. Um, it- it's really inspiring. It makes me want to get on my bike. Last thing is we talked about how close they ride together and how fast they're going. The crashes are crazy. Feels like there's one almost every time. When someone crashes in the peloton, it becomes a pile up. And like luckily, for the most part, I think people are okay. But I mean, it hurts in the moment, but I don't think anyone's like broken any bones or anything like that. But one guy goes down, everyone behind them is like has to adjust and usually cannot in time. But like there was a time when Tadej Pogačar, he fell. He was just on the left side of some group. I don't know what happened, but someone came across him and it just kind of messed with his balance and he fell off his bike and he slid across the damn pavement on his left shoulder. Luckily, like kept his head up because there was a curb coming. But like the leader of the tour, he fell. It's crazy. Like what these guys are pushing the absolute limits. They're taking crazy risks. They are uh, fascinating to see from just like what a human can do standpoint. They are weathering these conditions, and it's really fun to see. Tomorrow, stage 16, I encourage you to watch. There's only a few more stages left before like the winner is truly decided. You can watch it on Peacock. And yeah, thanks for listening to me ramble about the Tour de France. I've really enjoyed watching it this year. I will continue to. Um, on a separate note, I have a new song out. Don't You Know is out, and I'll put the link in the comments. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you again soon.